What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at DataDash, and today is January 1st of 2018. Well, folks, let's go ahead and start off the new year strong and jump into the crypto recap, where we take a look back at the past week of price action in cryptocurrencies, as well as into the future for potential opportunities in crypto markets. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in. First and foremost, I want to take a look at the overall top 100 here. We can still see that there's absolute exuberance in the altcoin market. You see a variety of different coins still racking in double-digit returns, and if anything, sometimes some that are oh god, in the single digit. We're only making 8 to 9% a day. I'm just kidding. But as you can see here, a few players in the red holding the majority of their gains. Not too many on the downside, outside of a few other players here towards the bottom. So altcoins still remaining relatively strong. The question is, though, can the altcoin rally continue here? And I really want to spend some time to talk about that in regards to valuations. So as we all know, Bitcoin saw a correction down from 20,000 to 13,000, a decent dip in the valuation of Bitcoin, causing billions of dollars in valuation to be lost in crypto markets. And throughout that time, even though Bitcoin has remained down at 13,000, where we still have a lot more room for Bitcoin to go eventually, altcoins have filled in that valuation loss, and we're still hanging a little bit below the highs here of 645 billion, around the $600 billion range. So the question is, do altcoins have enough steam to continue pushing valuations higher? And I gotta say, though I think there still could be some room, I'm definitely changing my tone on the market here. I think we're getting towards the kind of higher end of the altcoin rally, but it doesn't mean we still don't have some room to go before we start seeing sell side action. So on my long-term positions, I'm holding strong. I'm going to let them ride, and I think that they're going to do good for the long term. For my swing trading positions, I'm setting safety measures in place. Now, you got to decide whether or not you want to make something a long-term position or a swing trade position, and whether or not you want to even treat something as if like, oh, it might go down, I need to set my stop. But I think that altcoins might be getting towards the end of the run-up here. We still have some market players that I think have room to go, but like I said, just play with a cautious mindset. The reason I'm saying this is because that over the past month and a half, we've seen altcoins go from around a $70 to $80 billion valuation all the way up to $370 billion. That's multiple times in valuation. Now, that's understandable because you're playing with a lot more cryptocurrencies, and the projects that are coming into the space are a lot more competitive and realistic than what we had back in May and June. So this altcoin rally is a little more understandable. However, again, we've had a very nice run up, and we want to definitely start setting safety measures in place if you're trying to trade these markets. So definitely try to pick players that look like they have more room to go. Don't play ones that have gone up 10 or 20 times their valuation. Look for ones that are only up about 1 to 2 times their original valuation. All right. So as we go down here, again, talking about the dominance here, I think Bitcoin's got a little bit lower to go because we've now actually reached back down to the lows in June of 2017 in regards to Bitcoin's dominance. I think Bitcoin is going to go down to the low 30% range, and we're going to see other coins continue to make all-time highs around 25% market dominance. So that means that altcoins have 25% more room to, or sorry, 25% more in the sense of gains to come over the next few days, in my opinion. So you've got to assess whether or not you think markets can still do that. I think altcoins still have a little bit more legroom to kind of wiggle upwards so long as Bitcoin stays low. And I think that when that happens, when we reach towards there, you're going to start to see Bitcoin come up, so long as there's no reason if there's some reason for Bitcoin to start seeing FUD. I don't really think there's anything in the market causing fear. We've already gone through a nice correction. So definitely have given altcoins a lot of room to go, but I think we still got a little more leg room. Again, keep an eye on Bitcoin, though. If this starts to curve up and this doesn't hold down around this $12,000 to $13,000 range, if we start going to 15 or 16, you're going to see altcoins definitely get a correction. All right, so next up, I want to talk here about Ripple, because people have been asking me to cover Ripple. As always, when something's trending, people want me to cover it, even though I genuinely don't like to cover things now that they've gone up multiple times over their valuation. And I've covered Ripple in the past. However, as we all know, Ripple is now the second largest cryptocurrency. It has surpassed Ethereum in valuation with a rallied valuation of around $85 billion. And at its peak over, I think it was like $110 billion at the top. So okay, $105 billion. So, I mean, an absolutely fantastic rally. The question is here, as we can see here on the hourly, is that we're heading towards a wedge here in price action. And we're either going to break out towards the upside or the downside. Now, I don't want to look here at the hourly so much because we can obviously tell that this is wedging in price action. But it still leaves us with a 50-50 question. Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? Well, no one really knows the answer to that, in my opinion. I don't think anyone knows exactly where something's going, but take a look at this daily here, because I think so many of us get caught up looking at the 5-minute chart, looking at the hourly chart, and we look in a very short time frame, and we don't take a step back. Look at how much we have gone up over the past few weeks in Ripple. Since really the beginning of December, we have seen more than a tenfold increase in one of the largest players in the market. This has gone from being around a $7 to $8 billion cryptocurrency to an $80 billion cryptocurrency. So the question we have to ask ourselves here is this valuation justified? Well, there has been a lot of partnerships. There's been a lot of adoption of Ripple over the past few weeks from large players in Japan. And even though there's these optimistic signs coming in, we have to ask ourselves in a trader's perspective, is it worth the risk of buying at these levels? Is it worth buying at a 10 times premium comparative to Bitcoin? Now, some of you might say yes, and if that's the case, do as you want. That's fine. But as you all know, I don't buy high, I buy low, and I sell high. And along with that as well, I personally do not like to buy when the news is already plugged in. I like to buy it when something is in the red and no one's talking about it. I just personally don't like Ripple, though, along with that as well. As you all know, I'm not a big bank. I don't like banks in any way, shape, or form, so it's not the cryptocurrency I feel like investing in. And I'm definitely not going to be paying this kind of premium on the price. But you have to assess that for yourself, okay? However, there are a few market players that haven't moved exactly parabolic that I am optimistic on, that I think have good long-term potential, not to mention are still undervalued, which is hard to find in this market. So first and foremost, I want to talk about what I talked about last week, which is Icon. Again, this is definitely more of a long-term position, but I think this would also provide potentially good swing trade opportunity. Again, you got to do your own research. It's not financial advice, guys. But what I'm currently looking for here is a breakout above 4,300 Satoshis and hopefully another confirmation level of 4,500. And if we can get past that, I think we're going to curve up towards new highs and go around to 7,000 to 8,000 Satoshis. I think the USD valuation for Icon has a lot more room to go, and I'm optimistic on this one. Again, it's a long-term position, but also could possibly provide a good swing trade position with the fact that it's not only been holding well on the daily, but here on the hourly around the 50 and 100 hour here. So again, keeping an eye on Icon. I think this is going to continue doing good. Next up, I want to talk about Zcoin. So Zcoin we also talked about last week, showing a very, very similar sense of price action here. A nice flagging, and almost, I wouldn't say a wedge, more of a flag and price action, much like we saw back here. And this is a very good sign for price action. So to be a little bit more positive towards Ripple, as we saw in Ripple in the past, we saw a sense of price action that was similar to a bull flag. We saw it over here, we saw it over here, and some might say, oh, we're seeing it over here. Well, I'm going to wait for more price action to come in there. But with Zcoin, we can see that that same flagging of price action is happening right here, much like it did in the past. And this is one of the most optimistic signs you can see for any kind of cryptocurrency that's been on an almost parabolic run-up. It takes these breaks to hold the majority of its valuation, has a slight correction to give opportunities to buyers to maybe buy in at a little bit of a dip, or at least to see that, okay, this has price strength confirmation, this could have more room to go. Again, my price target for Zcoin is much higher than where it's at now. I think not only can its Bitcoin comparative increase, I think we can get back up to this range and potentially higher over the next few weeks. So as we go down here, there was a huge run up here on exchange. Now this was on Binance, which has, I think, had a little bit less volume than Bittrex did for Zcoin. However, I will say that I think that not only can we curve back up here, but we can go to higher levels. The reason being is it's not only one of my favorite privacy coins, but along with that, you have a very low circulating supply. We've been seeing low circulatory supplies or cryptocurrencies that have low circulatory supplies doing quite well. Not to mention Zcoin is one of the few privacy coins that hasn't just gone parabolic yet. So I'm really excited for Zcoin. I think it's going to do well, and I think that it's got more room to go with a valuation of 420 million. I think we could see this being a $1 billion cryptocurrency. But again, just my personal opinion. I'm more long-term on Zcoin. I have a position in Zcoin, much like I do with Icon as well, for the long term, and hopefully it'll do well and continue to gain some good valuation over the week. Technicals are looking very nice, and I'm waiting for a cup of the price action above 9,000 Satoshis to really start seeing this move. Okay. So the other trade that I have yet to talk about, and this is something that I made a position in today, and I'm getting really, really interested in, and that is IOTA. Now, here's my whole kind of thesis with IOTA here. I mean, it's obviously a good long-term play. I don't think most people doubt that. IOTA is definitely an interesting player in the market. It's one of the top 10. And along with that, as we take a look back at valuations over the past week, whereas Ripple is making all-time highs, Ethereum and other players holding quite strong. One of the few that has yet to be exhausted, whereas we've seen Litecoin, Cardano doing so good, and all the other players, is IOTA in the sense of its USD valuation. With the Bitcoin correction, IOTA went from being around a $15 billion cryptocurrency down to a $9 billion cryptocurrency. So it's providing a discount. Not to mention its Bitcoin comparative definitely dropped a little bit over the past few days and has been holding a little bit to the upside here. So turn on my drawings here, and this is what I'm generally seeing here. I think we're getting a wedge in price action. We've had practically 2 bounces off of the 50-day here, very healthy for IOTA, and we can see that this looks like it wants to push up towards higher levels. I personally believe IOTA could do very well going over the next few days. I think we could reach up to around the 350,000 Satoshi range. That's what I'm currently watching for, and we might get a breakout to even higher levels. Again, I wouldn't doubt it if they lock in a serious partnership or two over the next week or so. Just look at what's been happening with Ripple. And don't doubt for a second that IOTA could see that very same thing. I mean, we've been seeing, for example, like I was saying, Cardano has been killing it. A lot of the enterprise solution cryptocurrencies, or these different ones that propose different technologies or, third generation factors in regards to their cryptocurrency, are doing quite well. So I bet I built a position today here in IOTA. It's not too large, but definitely a nice little swing trade position, and I'm hoping that we can get up around the 350,000 to 400,000 Satoshi range going over towards the next week. Okay, I think this really could break out, guys. This is a nice technical pattern here. The volume's been quiet after all this buying on the original run-up back here towards early December, and we might have some more room to go. All right, so the last thing I want to talk about here outside of my 3 trade opportunities that I've been watching, there's one other one I'm really getting excited about. And I usually find one of these when Binance is doing their coin of the month. This is a awesome thing that, again, I never doubted Binance would become the leading exchange in regards to volume, because they do things like this. They do coin of the month. They listen to their community, where you vote with 0.1 BNB per vote to get a coin listed. So you use one of the Binance tokens, one of the Binance coins, to place a vote. And one of the players that I'm really getting excited about, and I just talked about it the other day on the channel, I did a coin coverage video on it, is Ryblox. So Ryblox itself, I did a coin coverage video on. I'm extremely excited about it. I have a small position now because some people have donated. However, I have yet to buy a BitGrail account, or not buy it, buy any of my Ryblox long-term position, because I'm not opening up a BitGrail account. The one thing that held Ryblox back is really the fact that it has a lack of volume because of its limited exchanges. BitGrail, Mercatox, again, just really nothing serious here that I can trade on. However, Ryblox is having a lot of exchange listings coming. It's going to be getting on Binance, obviously. We can tell from the vote here, so long as it holds here at the top or in second place. Let's say, even for example, experience points come up. I don't think it's really a cryptocurrency to watch, but either way, if it's in the top 2, I think it gets listed. Not to mention, it's also getting on Commonhood. It's also getting on KuCoin. All of these other exchanges that are going to give it a ton of volume, a ton of different interest from a variety of different exchanges. So even though it has been rallying up quite well, I think you can see with the news that it's going to be getting listed on a lot of exchanges that the valuation has been rightfully going up. Now, how am I going to be playing Ryblox? Well, when it gets listed on Binance, that's really the big one here, is that it's going to get listed on Binance. I think that you need, personally, if you want my opinion, I'm going to be waiting for the price to correct after it gets listed. That usually happens. You can see anywhere from a 20 to 30% decrease, sometimes 40%. I don't know if we're going to see all that, but I think around a 20-something% decrease. And then I'll definitely consider getting my long-term position. I'm going to be staying active, waiting for this to get listed, because I'm real excited about Ryblox. And as you all know, I'm long-term on it. I'm glad to see there's a cryptocurrency like Ryblox finally getting listed on Binance because of the transactions it can process and the community that's behind it as well. So lots of exciting things going on for Ryblox. Definitely keep my eye on this one. Valuation's definitely on the higher end, but this is going to be another opportunity. If we can get one of these corrections coming into the price once it gets listed on exchanges, I definitely know I'm going to be building a long-term position and not trying to trade what could be a really big cryptocurrency going into 2018. All right, everyone, that's it for the video. Thank you all so much for watching. Is there a cryptocurrency that I missed in the video? Please leave a comment down below to let me know, guys, and get a discussion going between people in the community. But until the next video, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Stay tuned.